my Science Academy. Assalamu alaikum dear students. Today in Biology 12 class, we will study the topic of osmoregulation in animals. What is osmoregulation? Osmoregulation is the biological process by which organisms regulate the balance of water and solutes within their bodies to maintain a stable internal environment. As in this diagram, you can see different type of animals are living in different types of environments. So today we will study the process of osmoregulation in animals in different environment. Different animals have evolved various osmoregulatory strategies to adapt to their specific environment, whether they are aquatic or terrestrial. So we are going to study the process of osmoregulation under the following headings. Number 1, osmoregulation in terrestrial animals. Number 2, in aquatic animals. Number 3, in semi-aquatic animals. And number 4, migration and osmoregulation. So let's start with the number 1, terrestrial animals. The main problem which these terrestrial animals are facing is the dehydration, that is the losing water. Terrestrial animals need to conserve water to prevent dehydration. They face the challenge of losing water to the environment through the process like evaporation and respiration. Let's see how these animals face the challenge of dehydration. First, in the desert animals, the example is of kangaroo rat. Some desert animals, for example kangaroo rat, survives without drinking water by feeding on seeds of desert plants containing more carbohydrates which produce the water of metabolism. Next is the presence of kidneys. Terrestrial animals produce concentrate urine by possessing the kidneys that reabsorb most filtered water in the process of excretion. Then there is another term, anhydrobiosis, that is the state of dormancy. Terrestrial animals can tolerate dehydration and it differs in various animals, is known as anhydrobiosis. Next are the arthropods and vertebrates. Insects and other small terrestrial animals often have a waxy exoskeleton that prevents water loss. They also have spiracles that they can close to minimize water vapor loss during respiration. Here in this diagram you can see spiracles. Here you can see different types of arthropods which are having waxy exoskeleton outside of their bodies that help to prevent the water loss. Then are the burrowing animals. Animals that burrow underground, like some rodents, reduce water loss by staying in a humid environment and minimize exposure to dry environment. Here in this diagram you can see how these animals go underground and burrow themselves so they can prevent dehydration and loss of water. Next we will study osmoregulation in aquatic animals, which are of two types. Number 1, marine, which includes invertebrates and cartilaginous fishes and bony fishes. Second type are of freshwater, which includes protozoans, fishes and other animals. First of all, we will see invertebrates. Most marine invertebrates are osmoconfirmers. Example are starfish, crab and jellyfish. Now what are osmoconfirmers? Osmoconfirmers are those organisms which keep their internal fluids isotonic to their environment, and among vertebrates, hagfishes are also osmoconfirmers. Next are cartilaginous fishes. Most cartilaginous fishes maintain lower internal salt concentration than that of the seawater. For this, there are present rectal glands. Their kidneys excrete salts through gills and also possess salt excreting organs such as the rectal glands. So these fishes excrete salts through their gills, kidneys and rectal glands. Then there is trimethylamine oxide. Some fishes have relatively low salts in the body fluids but make it concentrate equal to the seawater by retaining urea in adequate concentration. These fishes retain another chemical trimethylamine oxide for protection against the urea. Then are the bony fishes. Bony fishes which live in seawater have adapted to drink large amount of seawater and excrete concentrate urine, resulting in maximum salt excretion and minimum water loss. As here in this diagram, you can see how the fish living in seawater drinks lots of water and excrete concentrated urine. Fish also excrete salts and ions through its skin and gills, and in this way the fish living in seawater get rid of excessive salts and maintain the normal water balance inside. So if we compare osmoregulation in freshwater and seawater environment, we can see the fish living in freshwater environment drinks little quantity of water and excrete dilute urine, while the fish living in saltwater environment drink ample water and excrete concentrated urine. Next are the freshwater protozoans. Freshwater protozoans, amoeba and paramecium pump out excess water by structures called contractile vacuoles. Here in this diagram, you can see all are having contractile vacuoles through which they pump the water from their bodies. Next are the fishes and other animals. Many freshwater animals, including fish, remove excess water by producing large volume of very dilute urine. The loss of salt is compensated by preference of salt-containing food and by active uptake of salts by gills and skin. And in this diagram, you can see the fish living in fresh water drink a little amount of water and excrete dilute urine. And how it compensate to the concentration of salt, it uptake the food containing salts and also uptake salts through its gills and skin. Next, we will see osmoregulation in semi-aquatic animals. Animals that live in both aquatic and terrestrial environment, like amphibians, must adapt to changing osmotic conditions. Amphibians have permeable skin that can absorb water, but this can also lead to water loss. They often inhabit habitats with ready access to water to prevent the dehydration. So that's why amphibians live inside the water or near water so they can access to water easily to prevent dehydration. Number 4 is the migration and osmoregulation. Some animals like salmons migrate between freshwater and saltwater environments. These animals have the remarkable ability to change their osmoregulatory mechanisms during different phases of their life cycle. Here is the diagram of a salmon that can live in both types of environments like freshwater and saltwater environment. Young salmon develop mechanisms to handle freshwater while in the rivers and switch to saltwater osmoregulation as they migrate to the ocean. So they can switch their osmoregulatory mechanism according to their environment. Don't forget to like and subscribe my channel and press the bell icon so you can receive the updates of upcoming lectures. Thank you.